go up a player, everybody thinks, okay, this game is theirs. But what's the difference? You see a difference in them defending, and how do you guys adjust your attack going forward?
Yeah, I think when you're down a player, like, you just naturally kind of have to sit in for defensive. So, but on the other end, that means that we send more numbers and are a lot more aggressive, which is good so that you can get a goal. Also, it opens you up as well. So I think that happened on the one that I believe hit the post. You just, you're sending numbers in, so you want to be the one that doesn't get transitioned on. But it does open up for the transition.
And then, let's say you got subbed out a little late there. Was it just cramping there?
Yeah, I got a cramp. It would not stop, so I had to get subbed out.
Did you see the video of Michelle Cooper taking the hot shot?
Yes, okay, that's why I did not want
There's
the
an
hot
immediate
shot.
thing that's already on. Michelle Cooper already tweeted it, the video of you doing the same exact thing.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, because I watched that video today and I texted her and I was like, oh, I've never had one of those, thank God I won't have one. And then today I cramped and my trainer was like, you want one? And I was like, no. And they were like, you need to have it. So then I had it and it was really gross. I did not like it at all.
And then just either of you, what does it mean to kind of, you guys head off to U.S. Women's National Team camp tomorrow. What does it mean to you to kind of leave on kind of the shutout note and all that?
I feel good about it. I feel like we really wanted 3 points, so it's a little disappointing. But having the shutout was good, and I'm happy that we didn't lose. So.
I had a question for each of you. I'll start with you, Alyssa. But just as you enter your first World Cup, what are just some of the lessons that you've been able to learn from either Julie or just other teammates as well?
Definitely, be confident in myself, and you made it for a reason, so don't, just be confident. And also just, with packing, I've asked Julie a lot about packing and what I need to pack, what's essential, give me some tips and tricks about camp and the World Cup because it's a long time and I've never done it, and she's very experienced with it, so she's been very helpful.
And then also for you, Julie, just thinking about as you transition into this World Cup mode, just what are some of the lessons that Angel City has taught you? It's kind of a shorter time frame that you've been here, but what has that been like for you?
Incredible. I mean, I don't think I can thank Angel City and just the teammates, in general. I mean, day in and day out, it's been competitive, which is what you need. It's been an environment to be able to thrive. And we've done something different each game, which is incredible for me to learn. I feel like I've actually learned from a lot of the players as well, just because I think for my time with Angel City, it was really condensed in my timeline. So I'm just unbelievably grateful for each player to bring it every single practice and let me learn different formations and each game. So, yeah, I feel like it's so crazy because I feel like I've been here for a long time, but it's also a short time at the same time. So, unfortunate that we didn't get to leave with 3 points for the team, but we're super proud of the team and excited for them going forward.
Sorry, last question. But just for either of you, just thinking about the message that you want to leave to the fans or your teammates, can you just say in a few sentences what that would be?
To the fans, thank you so much for your support. I think it's been, even if we're down a goal, if we're up a goal, we just hear you throughout the game, so that's really amazing, and it always brings us up. Continues our energy, and then to our teammates, you've helped us come this far this season, and we really appreciate do you want me to speak?
You can speak.
Okay.
We're on the same page.
Okay. We really appreciate just what you've done in helping us get ready for the World Cup.
First, Alyssa, have you had a chance to sit back and think of what you've been through the last 8 or 9 months here, from number 1 draft pick, high school, graduation, and now headed to your first World Cup?
I feel like I don't think about it enough because everything's just the next thing happens, so I'm just focused on the next thing. But when I do think about it, it's pretty crazy that that's all happened in such a short amount of time. It feels, I don't know, it doesn't feel long or short, it just feels weird. I can't explain it, but yeah, it's interesting. But fun.
We'll make sure she reflects on the long flight to New Zealand. You got a long flight time. I'll
do some reflecting.
I'll do some reflecting.
And Julie, you remember your first call to go to the World Cup. How did you feel And then how did you get over, I assume there were nerves, but how did you get over those nerves once you got there?
Yes, of course, you're very nervous on your first one in, and I think it's just the time that you have to lean on your teammates. I think there's a lot of experience when I was a rookie as well, and on top of that, I think it's a part of us veterans to make sure that Liz feels like she's at her best, because it takes 23 players to completely perform the way you want to at the at the tournament. So yeah, of course there's nerves, but it's a time to lean on, and this is, go time on Monday. We're focused on Angel City this whole time. We're very excited to be able to get selected to go to the World Cup squad, but now it's like time to really focus, and I think hopefully reflect, because our focus was continuing to make sure that we were prepped to be able to be the best for when we go to camp, but as well for this final game we had.
How you doing? Joey Lynch from ESPN Australia and New Zealand. You mentioned you're getting on a very long flight to New Zealand first. It's gorgeous here in California. It's decidedly not like this in Australia and New Zealand at the moment with the conditions, middle of winter. What sort of transition are you expecting to have to make going down to New Zealand and Australia in terms of just getting used to the conditions and being ready to hit the ground running?
Honestly, it's been like that in LA.
LA's been pretty cold.
It feels like it's been pretty cold.
Long sleeves, I guess. I think it's part of adapting. I know it's colder there. Might be easier than when it's really hot to try to adapt to. I know the Olympics for Japan was really hot, and that was hard to train for. But our staff that we have on U.S. Soccer make sure that we're prepped as well as possible. I'm excited to get down there early to really understand and know what is needed. So I think really the only way you can prepare is really to get there early and see and feel like what you need individually, because I think that just comes down to the individual player of they feel necessary to be at their best.
Because you've got a number of teammates that would have played in what was the W League at the time. Have you spoken with them about the conditions and just being down there for an extended period?
I've heard it's beautiful.
Oh.
You haven't heard it's beautiful? I know she hasn't necessarily played with players in the W. I mean, this is your first year, so. The Australian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
I'll teach her. I heard it's incredible, and a lot of my teammates have loved going down there, and loved the fan support as well. So there's multiple reasons why we're excited to get down there.
Chuck in the back.
What do you both think about this World Cup moment for Ali, host nation, and pretty incredible? All that.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that New Zealand gets some love and that we're going down there to our home country. I know it's amazing for her to have so many people come in and just get to experience what New Zealand is like, and she's super excited for it, and I'm excited too.
This one's for Alyssa. I'm not sure if you're aware of the historic things or moments about you making the World Cup this time around, because the Philippine team is also making the World Cup for the first time. And I think a bunch of those girls grew up in SoCal as well. So how do you feel about that? You're the second youngest in Stephanie Roberts, who was also of Philippine heritage in 1995. So a lot going for Filipino fans, and as they open up the game for Filipino women as well. So your thoughts about that, how you guys are kind of stamping your own class for your heritage?
I think it's awesome. The Philippines being able to be into the World Cup is super cool, and it gets to show that young girls in the Philippines that they have dreams to play soccer, and they can do it if they have the dream to, and it just shows that if you work hard enough, you could get there, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
Okay, I think there's one more question, and then we're going to switch to Coach Tweed. Go ahead.
Yeah, for either of you guys, just transitioning back to tonight. Tonight was Pride Night. Could you just tell us kind of what do you think the importance of celebrating this is tonight?
I think everyone should have like a voice for sure, and I'm glad that we celebrate it to make sure that everyone in the LGBTQ plus community has a voice and is seen here and feels loved, and we all support them in this team, and we're so happy that we got to celebrate it tonight.
Yeah, fans were so fun tonight. It was an awesome environment tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a good note to end on. Thank you both. Thank you.
How would you assess first one game in charge?
Atmosphere, fans, incredible. Obviously the occasion and what we're able to put on as a club is like so inspirational. I think you have to take a minute to look around and look how far women's sports has come and look what this club is doing to keep growing it. Performance-wise, are we happy with the point? No. Really good for us to keep a clean sheet. I think we had opportunities to win the game. I think sometimes when you play against 10 players, it can become a little slippery. But again, we prepared for it. We created opportunities to win the game. We just have to be more ruthless in the final third.
You had a couple posts there. Alyssa had one, I think Tyrese had one as well. Does Houston do anything different? Because they've only allowed 10 goals coming in. How do they not compare to the other teams you face this season? They do anything differently defensively wise, or?
No, I think they're just a really gritty team, hard to break down, pride themselves defensively. They went down to 10 players last week, so we watched them play with 10 players again last week to look at if it did happen, how could we try to counter that? And I think we did. It's just that end product piece for us. And once that clicks, I think we're in a good spot, but we just have to keep growing. We have to keep picking up points, really important for us. But I do think there's another level to keep us pushing on, and we're not happy with this point. And I'm not sure you're ever happy with the performance as a coach very often. But for us to continue to grow, we have to keep pushing through these moments and dealing with different things that happen during games.
Thank you. Well, you guys were able to get a shutout tonight, second one of the season, counting the Challenge Cup. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, really important. Again, we've spoke about being gritty and making sure that we don't give things away easily, and I think we showed that tonight. I think we deserved the shutout. I think we had a couple of moments where maybe we switched off, but defensively we've been brilliant for 2 games in a row. We've been organised. We've had that little edge. We can't decide when we want to compete. We must compete for the entire duration of the game, from the minute we show up to the minute we leave, from Monday to Friday. And I think we're getting there. We just have to keep continuing to push.
Hello, Becki.
Hi.
How would you, not that there's a comparison, but how would you say the team played compared to last week?
I think a really different game, a really different opposition for us. Both gritty, but a little bit formation different. We tried to play in a way where we wanted to dictate how Houston played, which I think we did. I think first half we actually struggled a little bit in possession, same as last week. But I think, with the team, they're able to take on information and make adjustments to that. I think once we started again to get the ball wide and create overloads in wide areas, we were much better. But they've posed us a different threat. I think San Diego drops off a little bit more and they defend the box in a really rigid structure. I'd say Houston was a more grit-determined, ball-winning team. So just a different threat for us, and we're able to look at both and be faced up against both 2 weeks in a row. It's brilliant because it just gives us more to work on next week.
And after you went up a player at, I believe, 58th minute, 3 minutes later, you made some substitutions. Can you talk about that? Were they planned, or was that just?
Yeah, they were planned, but I think anytime you play against a team where it goes to 10, it can go 2 ways. I think sometimes that can give them the edge and the determination where they're going to sit in a little bit more and be hard to break down. I think for us, it's important that the squad is super important to me, and we have the ability to play players for 60, 55, 70, whatever it is, good minutes, and replace them with players that will then come in and enhance the performance for the team. And it's not about pushing people through 90, 100 minutes. It's about how can we as a team and a group and a squad be really good for that 90-plus minutes.
And was that the case in the 75th minute when you brought in, I believe, Clarice for Savannah?
Yeah, I think they started to sit in a little bit more. Houston, I think, started to sit in, and we just needed somebody to come in and be a platform. And again, it's like, how do we get, if it's 75 minutes of an elite performance from a player, then we'll take that because we know we can replace with them with something that will come on and be as good, if not, enhance the game to another level. The game changes, it goes in ebbs and flows, and I think as a coach, you have to pick your moments of where are the spaces that we want to target and who are the players we want to target and how can we best do that.
Yeah, and you have, I believe you're 7 points down from the 6th position, but you have 9 matches left next Sunday against New York, which happens to be in the 6th spot.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, me next. You have a 3-game week coming up, right, with Challenge Cup in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Did that kind of play a part into some of that rotation that we saw?
Not a big part. I think when I first set out this time last week, I said we need to go game by game. And it's really important that you go game by game. Of course, there's a piece in the back of your mind where you have to look ahead a little bit, especially with the international break coming up. And players leaving and you know, that it changes everybody's team over the next week because there's different pieces that are going to be moving for everybody. But I think for us, it's how can we perform to the best that we can every single game. So game by game is super important, point by point is super important. But yeah, it's in the back of your mind when you know you have a 3-game week. But we're midway through the season. Players have trained hard for the last 6 months for moments like this, and we're prepared, you know, obviously to go into Wednesday and then to Sunday again.
And then knowing you kind of have that really quick turn before Wednesday, kind of how do you get the little tweaks done that you want to without kind of weighing too much on the players' legs?
Yeah, I think this is where, as a coaching staff, you have to decide what this week looks like. And I think if you take the physical load down, you can increase the cognitive load. And a lot of teaching can be done in the classroom and in film, and it's just about being efficient and about getting the best that you can from the time that you have with the players. I mean, tomorrow is going to be physically challenging for the players. They wake up after, you know, a game where the atmosphere is incredible. It's emotionally draining a little bit, but physically draining. So how can we best prepare them for the 2 days that we have to get them ready for Wednesday? And it may look a little different this week. It may be more film, but that's something I'll sit down and look at tonight a little more.
Cameron, then.
So Sydney LaRue, she played the full 90 today. What did you see from her in training this week that kind of made you confident that she could do the whole thing, and then kind of what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Sid's gone from strength to strength over the last couple of weeks. I think her mentality, her desire to want to win games, not even just games, to want to win training, if that's a thing, but she has it. So it's like, you know, when things are tough and when you need to find a way to break a team down, it's, you know, she's going to have that extra edge and that extra step. And I think tonight she looked fit. She looked the 90-minute fit. And, you know, I checked in with her in the game and she kind of gave me that look like, don't you dare. But yeah, no, it's great. We have her a spot now where, you know, it's down to her and her performance now. But to have her 100% fit moving forward is going to be massive for us.
Outside of the game, could you speak a bit about 2 players going to the World Cup? One tested veteran and another one a teenage phenom. Talk about how their contributions are going to be down there in the World Cup.
Yeah, no, I think for them, obviously, it's crazy when you look back at, you know, you have Alyssa, first World Cup, teenager, and then you have JJ going into a 3rd World Cup, and how amazing that they can share the experience together. I think it's going to be incredible for them both. I know that the team is going to have full support. It's going to be a really exciting time. We obviously have a couple of other players going as well, so I'm sure there's going to be a competitive lunch and dining table, and we'll be watching the games back, and really excited for all of them. A chance for Alyssa to play on the biggest stage. She deserves it. She's, you know, not took a risk, but she's gone straight from high school into the pro game, and you never know what that's going to look like, but she grabbed it with 2 hands and has embraced it. And then what a story for JJ, you know, coming back from having a baby. She's 90 minutes fit again. She's back to who, you know, we all know she can be, and she's going to be a huge influential role on and off the field for the US.
Everyone good? Thank you.
Thank you.
For coming. Get home
Thanks, guys.
safe.